Hola, fellow geeks. It's that time again. It's 4:30. We're coming to you from the luxurious Charter Studios on a Friday. This is Geeks at the Movies, where we talk about TV and movie news, and we give our opinions on it, and it's all from our perspective, the geek perspective. I will be your host this evening. I'm Shane Goodrich, and joining me is Mr. Jacob Desitels, our lead writer.
How's it going, guys?
Are you ready to talk about the movies today, Jacob?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's get on to the geek news. Item 1. A news report from The Wrap is claiming that Guardians of the Galaxy actor Benicio del Toro is in negotiations to play the villain in the upcoming Star Wars Episode 8 film. Tell me more.
Yeah, we haven't got that much news from Episode 8 because Episode 7 hasn't even come out yet. But I think it's pretty interesting that Benicio del Toro might play a villain because he's good at playing that kind of creepy, like, behind-the-scenes guy. Cause
for the viewers that are watching at home, what role did he have in Guardians?
He was the collector, the guy that had that big room with all the stuff in it. He had Howard the Duck if you stayed till the end. Yeah, he in that role he was kind of like the guy that was kind of like the schemer. He was just trying to get things like for himself.
Okay.
He was kind of a dick because he was treating his assistant like an asshole.
Right.
So. But
is the collector play a big role actually in the comics?
He's more of like an actual villain in the comics.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Benicio del Toro would be a good villain in Star Wars. I don't think he would stand out too much because he's not such a big recognizable actor like Samuel L. Jackson was. So
look, it's Samuel L. Jackson. He's a Jedi.
I think he'd be good for that. I don't really have that much to say, though, because I haven't seen that much with him besides Guardians. Have you seen anything else with him?
No. I couldn't even remember who he was in Guardians when you first sent me this and went, who the hell is that guy? And he's the collector. He didn't really even play that big of a role there. Yeah. Is he going to come back in Guardians? Since we're mentioning Guardians, is that a thing? Do you know? Is he an ongoing character?
I don't know if he will, but I think he will, honestly, because...
How would the Duck come back? That's the real question, folks. I should have asked you that. How would the Duck be back?
He's going to have his own solo movie.
Oh, he'll have it for the Hulk.
He'll like team up with Rocket Raccoon or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I think he'll come back, and I think he'll fit into the Star Wars universe nicely, especially as a villain. Maybe not even the main villain, but like kind of like the Darth Vader kind of role.
Okay.
With like the other guy in the background. I still think that Andy Serkis's character, Supreme Leader Snoke, is going to be like the Emperor of the new Star Wars trilogy, and I think in each film they're not going to have like that consistent Darth Vader. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to kill off someone each film, and they're having someone else take their place. But they do have a lot of villains. They have Supreme Leader Snoke. They have Gwendolyn Christie as a Captain Phantasm or something like that, and they have the guy who's the redhead dude, I can't remember the actor's name, but he's playing a villain. I don't remember what his name is, but he's like an Empire guy is working with them.
Okay. So do you like the having a lot of villains? In the original trilogy, I'm trying to think. I mean, it was just kind of Vader and the Emperor. Maybe there was a Grandmaster or Toph or something in the first movie.
Yeah, there was. And then there was Boba Fett. He didn't do a lot, really.
I don't really consider those villains. They're like side pawns.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a lot of side villains.
Okay.
And they're going to be like the two, maybe, like major villains.
And do you hope they get a little more backstory? Because I know with the original Star Wars trilogy, like every single character has been written about in fandom and the expanded universe, which I guess is now the Legends or something, because they rebooted the continuity. Do you want more of that right in the movie itself? Like instead of having some dude make up who Boba Fett is after the fact, maybe they add a few extra scenes. Maybe they have an extended, that's something that they didn't really do back then, but now they do all the time, extended editions.
Yeah, in the movie itself, it would be like a good thing for the fans, for the hardcore fans. It'd be cool to see that kind of stuff, but it's not really necessary. And it wouldn't really make sense for the people who aren't into that kind of stuff. Oh,
so you're thinking if they have too much exposition on side characters, it's going to distract from the main story, and the main audience goers are to go, who are all these guys? Come on, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's why we have references and Easter eggs. That's what those are there for. They have that little touch for the hardcore fans that are like,
Okay, yeah, I never really thought of it that way. But you're right. Yeah, of course it's for the hardcore fans, and also it doesn't disrupt the flow of the movie, like you say. It's like, oh, now we have a 10-minute scene about this guy. Well, that can be. Who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah. So that'd be cool, and then in the extended editions, they have like a few extra scenes for like the characters that no one really needs to know about. I
really hope they do that, because the first time I was really exposed to a true extended edition was with Lord of the Rings. And I love extended editions. And there's this other movie I saw, Kingdom of Heaven. It got really bad reviews when it came out because the studio had a really terrible edit of it. And then it came out with this other director's cut. I forget what it was called. It was like 45 minutes extra footage. And suddenly the movie directors were like, they re-reviewed it and go, whoa, this is actually pretty good.
Because they took so much stuff out that there was like a lot of plot holes probably.
Yes, exactly. There are gaps. They're like, wait, how did this guy happen? A whole character, an important character got removed. It's weird, when studios mess around with this too much. But this allows you, to put out a movie that might be of a general audience, fan-friendly. Here's Star Wars. Everyone can watch it. It doesn't get too weird and out there. And for the fans, there's this. I mean, aren't they doing this with X-Men with like Rogue's cut?
Yeah, apparently the Rogue's cut of X-Men Days of Future Past is a completely different movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're going on a little bit of tangent here.
Yeah, let's just talk about that, because wait, what is this?
Bryan Singer said that the Rogue cut of X-Men Days of Future Past, which is with Rogue, the character Rogue, more in the movie, is actually a completely different film, and apparently she's the one that sends Wolverine back in time in this cut of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So when does that come out? Do you know?
I think it's already out. I'm not completely sure though. I want to see that version of the movie.
We should watch that and do a review on that. I thought this was just some extra scenes with Rogue in it. And I'm like, that's cool. I like that. But an actual different cut of the movie.
Yeah. Apparently, like her presence in the film makes it a completely different movie.
Great. Well, we're going to have to get back to you folks on that. This just came out of nowhere. We do what we want here at Geeks. Sometimes we go off script. Is there anything else you wanted to say, though, about Star Wars Episode 8?
I'm just really excited for it. Rian Johnson, who directed Looper, is directing it, so I'm really excited to see his take on it, and I'm potentially excited to see Benicio del Toro in it. All
right, then. Now we're on to item number 2. According to the Lady Sith actress Jamie Alexander, the next Marvel film, Captain America Civil War, will set up the upcoming third Thor film, Thor Ragnarok. She's also confirmed that her character will play a pivotal role in Ragnarok. This doesn't surprise me. She was a pretty big character in the other films. Tell me what you think about this.
Well, when she says that Civil War will set up Ragnarok, I don't think she's saying that the movie itself will be a setup for the third Thor film. I think she's saying there's going to be like an after credit scene or something like that.
Right. There's gonna be a Thor bath scene they're gonna throw in there.
Yeah. Just another thing for him to be shirtless.
Right.
But yeah, I think.
Has he actually been confirmed yet in the movie? Is Thor in?
He's like the only one that's
the only one.
But they got Sif in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
She was cheaper, probably.
Yeah. And she's been in a couple episodes of
Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
Please do more of that. I like when they cross over the characters more.
Yeah.
But
so it's not really that big of a surprise that she's going to be in it, because they're going to have every single character, and they want to have a connection at least to Asgard,
right?
That kind of stuff. So I don't think she's going to play a big role in Civil War. She's going to be there. I think she's going to be the factor that sets up to Ragnarok in the film.
What do we know about Thor Ragnarok, Jacob?
Not much, except I'm pretty sure the directors from Thor: The Dark World are returning to direct this, and that Ragnarok basically is just the Asgardian apocalypse.
Right. I mean, yeah, in Norse mythology, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, what do you speculate is going to be the issue here? Are we going to see Loki back? Because I remember he had some shenanigans going on.
I'm sure we will see Loki back, and he'll reveal himself as taking Odin's place as the king of Asgard. But that's what we were speculating at the end of the last Thor film. So I think he's going to be back. We might see this big like demon guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he has like this sword, and he like basically causes Ragnarok. We're going to see him. I hope we see maybe at least like a reference to Beta Ray Bill. Do you know who that is?
No,
He's basically Thor with like a horse head.
What?
Didn't hear that? His like the reference to him, and I was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's like this like the collector's throne room, you see this guy with like a red cape, and people were speculating that was him.
What's his name again?
Better Ray Bill.
Better Ray Bill?
Yeah.
Wow, and he has a horse head, but he's Thor power-like.
Yeah, and he has his own hammer, that kind of stuff. He has like basically the same armor, everything.
I'll allow it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Bring in the horse, dude. Let's do this.
I don't really know anything about him, but apparently
He's got a horse head and he's got Thor's powers. Let's do this.
He's like a fan favorite in the comics. So
It sounds so outrageous. But I mean, we got a talking raccoon. We got a guy that flies on ants. Let's bring the horse head, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that wowould be too out there, just because we've got Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man.
Right.
Now. So yeah, we see a lot of the really out there like Norse mythology stuff in this film. That's what I want to see. I want it to be almost all on Asgard. I don't want all the Earth stuff. I don't really care about Natalie Portman's character and any of them. I want this all to be on Asgard. I want it to be like the huge conclusions of Thor's.
So let's talk about that just for a moment. That was a big part of both the first two films, and the Thor films have gotten really mixed reviews. They did well in the theaters, box office wise. I personally found them enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But I also found them to be at times uneven. They had problematic elements, like some of the stuff with Natalie Portman. It didn't really affect my overall enjoyment too much because the stuff that they did right was the thing I'm watching the movie for.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Thor, the first two parts of the trilogy so far?
Well, the best parts were when they were on Asgard.
Okay.
That was the best parts of both of those films. And when they were on Earth, I didn't mind it. It wasn't horrible. I never really bought Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth as a couple, really.
Well, why? Just because the actor didn't have the right chemistry? Was it just one of those weird, like I always find it weird, like they got Lois Lane and Superman are together. I'm like, there's some problems there, you know?
Yeah, it was basically the chemistry thing.
Okay.
And a little bit of the Superman Lois Lane thing, because they hinted at it in Thor: The Dark World with Jamie Alexander, who's playing as Sif, and Thor being a couple together, like she had interest towards him.
Yes. They
hinted at that, but they never explored it at all later on. So I think maybe in this film we see a little bit more of that, but I think they want to have that connection to Earth, and that's the only reason that Natalie Portman's there, to have that connection thing.
Right. That's part of the reason they have the Lois Lane with Superman.
Yeah.
It makes it more understandable to the audience. Like, well, she's a human. I get it.
Yeah.
If he married a Kryptonian or some other godlike being, maybe it's a little more out there.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the minor details underneath that might not make any sense if you really thought about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of superheroes. It's craziness going on.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about Thor Ragnarok?
I'm really excited for this movie just because I've liked the other two films, but I haven't loved them. I think this would be the first one that will be like, it'll meet my expectations and go beyond them a little bit.
Since my expectations have been lowered, I think that it might meet my expectations. Because I like those first two films, but I didn't love them. We'll give it a chance. We're definitely going to review it at Geeks of the Movies, so stay tuned. Item number 3. The new trailer for the upcoming James Bond movie Spectre has hit the web. The movie stars Daniel Craig, and it's set to hit theaters November 6th, later this year. I'm not a Bond guy to tell you about this. I saw the trailer, didn't really do anything for me, but I'm not a Bond guy, and that's not my thing. What do you think?
I'm not really that big of a Bond fan either, but I have really enjoyed all of Daniel Craig's Bond movies.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Have you seen other Bond movies?
I've seen very little. I've seen a couple of Pierce Brosnan's movies. I've seen like parts of
Sean Connery's?
Sean Connery's movies, but I was never really that invested in watching those movies.
There's a lot of films in the series. It's been going on for a while.
This is like the 24th or 25th one.
Wow, damn.
And yeah, so I've really enjoyed all the Daniel Craig ones.
What did you enjoy about them? Because I don't think I've ever seen any of his. I saw maybe a little bit of Pierce Brosnan's or whatever. And to me, it's just like, eh. What did you like about those films?
I don't know. I just have a thing for spy movies. It's just, I like that aspect of this guy who's working for this agency. He has to go take out these other like evil. I like how in the other older movies, it's like the evil corporations. They're like kind of like caricatures of themselves.
Right.
And they're kind of bringing that into this new movie. They're bringing out this organization Spectre back, who was in the previous like older like Sean Connery movies. They're bringing this organization back.
So are you saying you think they're going in a maybe slightly less realistic direction, maybe a little more over the top?
A little bit, like a little bit over the top, but not so much that's like, you know, say Fast and the Furious and those kinds of movies. So, yeah, and apparently the actor that's playing the villain, can't remember his name, but Christoph Waltz. He's going to be playing like this leader of Spectre who was in one of the previous films as well. Like he has like this scar on his face, and there's pictures going around with him with the mocap like stuff on his face, so they can digitally add that in. So I think that's interesting. I've never seen any of the older really Bond movies. Really, I've seen just bits and pieces, but I think it's interesting that they're like going back to that feel with this movie.
It's especially interesting to me. Again, as a complete outsider, I'm not interested in this. I'm not going to watch it. But those other like the Daniel Craig films, you know, they played more realistic. They've gotten away from the really over the top, the ridiculous villains, and they had success with that.
Yeah.
Now they're bringing back some of this other stuff. I find that an interesting choice. I mean, why would they do that when they've had success with this?
Well, I think they're bringing that stuff back just to make it like fit in this universe. They're not going to keep it the same feel. As that,
right.
And they're gonna blend it into this universe. Nice. And they have Dave Bautista, who played as Drax in Guardians, as like that new like henchman guy in this film.
He was great in Guardians. It'd be interesting to see him. This role, I'm guessing, is going to be a little more complex in some ways.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like just like the guy that's there to fight.
Oh, he's the bruiser.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna have a little bit more depth to him as well. Like
the bruiser with depth.
Yeah.
He's the Bane.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this movie. I would recommend that you watch the other Daniel Craig Bond movies. They're pretty good. The Quantum of Solace it's not really as up there with the other ones, but Casino Royale is fantastic. Skyfall was like the best one I've seen yet. So I would recommend you watch those.
I appreciate your recommendation, and I will take it into consideration.
Okay.
Now let us move on to item number 4. We have our first look at the second season of CW's The Flash, as the first picture of The Flash's new costume has been released. Talk to me, Jacob.
Okay, so there's not that much different about this new costume. There's the white emblem, which we speculated was coming when we saw it in Season 1 with the Future Flash, and then Cisco commented on it.
But it's different enough so they can make new action figures and little dolls and whatever else.
Yeah, then because there's little other changes with like new lightning bolts in different places, that kind of stuff. But it's not that big of a deal. But it's cool because you think that he would get a different costume because we saw it in the future. So he's gonna get it in this new season. That's interesting. We're gonna get to see him in the future now, but it's going to be interesting to see how he gets that costume because he has to spend some time in the future. That's what we're guessing, at least, to go back to his own time.
I'm already lost, Jacob. Okay, so he's in the future. What?
Because at the end of Season 1, if you haven't seen it, it's some spoilers, but at the end of Season 1, he goes through that wormhole.
Right.
So, and we're speculating that he's going to go to the future.
Ah, okay.
Through that wormhole, or the past, maybe. We don't know. But I think he might get that costume either in the future or Cisco's going to have it ready when he gets back. I don't know.
Okay. So he's in the future. So he might be going into the future. Then he's going to travel back through time because the Flash is now like ridiculously powerful because he's a time traveler.
Yeah.
What else do we know about the second season of Flash?
Not much, except that Jay Garrick, another Flash incarnation, is going to be in this season.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he's going to be from the future, I'm guessing, because also in the season finale, we see that portal that Flash created. We see Jay Garrick's helmet come through the portal.
Oh, the classic one, like the Hermes helmet with the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting another speedster on the show. And we talked about this previously. He's going to be a good guy, right?
Yeah.
That's his role. We've heard a few comments about the villains of the week that might play a role. Yeah. Do we know anything more substantial about the upcoming villains?
Nothing really, except I think Reverse Flash will return. Maybe not until like the end of the season, or maybe not until the season after.
Whoa, wait, stop, Jacob. Are you saying a character killed in a comic book show is going to return? He's dead. He's dead, folks. I saw him die.
Well, that's why they got time travel. That they can bring back villains that way.
Oh, okay, that's legitimate.
Yeah,
All right.
legitimate reason.
Legitimate reason. So, how excited are you about Flash overall? Because we talked about Arrow, and we're skeptical about Arrow. This is CW's other big one. What do you think about? What are you thinking now? These teases we're getting.
I'm really excited for the second season of Flash because the first season was just so awesome.
You think they're just going to keep going on the direction they went?
Yeah, I think him going through that wormhole at the end with that cliffhanger just proves that I think they know what they're doing. I think they have a plan. They're gonna stick to it. Gonna go.
That cliffhanger really gives them a lot of options. I felt too. It didn't pigeonhole them because they showed a bunch of different flashes of stuff. Some stuff you're like, I don't even know what that is, but they can make it up after fact what it is.
And if they choose not to do that, and those things that we saw, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a much better cliffhanger than Arrow driving off in the sunset with Felicity when it makes no sense because we just know he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So you guys at CW writing the Flash, keep up the good work. We like it here at Geeks the Movies. You guys writing Arrow, why don't you check in with your with the guys at CW's Flash, and maybe you can exchange some ideas. I mean, they used to be on the same team, or
they used to be a good collaboration, and now I don't know what they're doing now.
Don't know what they're doing. Let's just go to item number 5. Universal Pictures has officially announced a sequel to Jurassic World and its release date. The movie is set to be released June 22nd, 2018, and stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I am stunned by this news, Jacob. I just can't believe they're making a sequel to this film. I mean, the film hasn't really been that successful as far as I know.
Oh yeah. It only broke the #1 opening weekend box office record of all time.
It's never won for 3-4 weeks in a row. It was crazy in the middle of summer.
And it's the 3rd highest grossing film behind Titanic and the first Avengers movie, I believe. So
that's without adjusting for inflation.
Yeah. So there's no surprise here that the sequel's getting made.
How well it's done is stunning to me.
And no one expected this.
No, yeah, I did not expect it. I expected it to do well. I didn't expect it to do this well.
Yeah.
We were lukewarm at Geeks about the movie itself, but people don't care about the stuff we were talking about, the nitpicking things. We don't care about the plot holes. They just wanted to see giant beasts, giant dinosaurs fighting each other. That's what they wanted to see.
Yeah.
And Jurassic World did give you that. I mean, it wasn't my taste, but it is astonishing just how much it's made. And now we're going to have what we think we're going to have a Jurassic Park, a universe. Is that what they're going to do? They're going to do a universe?
Probably. We're going to go into space, maybe. Send some dinosaurs into space.
The raptors in space.
They're safe on the moon. That's where we're safe from them. Yeah, I think it's not really a big surprise that Chris Pratt is returning either. That's not really a big surprise because he was the draw of the movie basically.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, he got big so fast because Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, oh wow, this is good. And then here, I think people are saying, wait, well, Jurassic World, it did so well, not just because of the dinosaurs, but because this guy, Chris Pratt, people really like him.
Yeah. And it's not really a surprise that the love interest, she wasn't just the love interest, but Bryce Dallas Howard's returning too. So
are we going to have the kids return? Do we want the kids, Jacob?
Not really.
Yeah. No kids, please. Just
yeah. I just want to see, hopefully, so I liked Jurassic World. It was just above me, just above not liking it for me.
And I was just below.
I know. Yeah, you didn't like it at all, but I thought it was okay. But I think you can definitely make some improvements with the sequel.
What do you want to see? What are the improvements that will make it better?
I just want it. This is what I liked about Jurassic World. It brought back a little bit of that old classic flavor from the original film.
It did bring back that flavor, but I felt they hammered, just nailed you. I was like, oh, come on. So many odes.
Yeah, bring that back, but give it its own take as well.
Yes.
So don't just make the other thing with another dinosaur getting loose, them having
Don't do that.
But so then it begs the question, what do they do? How do you continue with this franchise? I don't know the answer exactly, but...
Because right now, it's so ridiculous if this is another time, they had the original Jurassic Park with John Hammond, and it was a disaster. okay, we fixed everything. It's all fine now, and it's a disaster again. I know you have to set aside, your preconceptions and just go, okay, and just buy the concept. But it's getting harder and harder to buy that concept where it's like, here's some idiots again. We got to fix this time, folks.
Yeah.
No, you don't. And then it just happens in the same. I don't want to see the same beats being hit over and over again.
Yeah, they need to figure out some new way to continue on the Jurassic Park franchise while keeping it Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Because if you go too left field, it's not going to be a Jurassic Park movie anymore. But if you keep going in the right direction, which I think this film started. It started off in the right direction, but it was in the right direction, but it took like some side roads it didn't need to go.
Yeah, like for example, when they decided the military thought training raptors to fight in warfare makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, what? Because the movie felt grounded in realism, and then they brought up that, like, well, come on now, get out of here. This is so over the top.
Yeah.
Raptors in warfare, and the guy that plays Kingpin, he was just so useless as a character. So just get out of here.
Yeah.
Your ridiculous idea.
He was there to set up the sequel that they're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
He said like we have to put our side plans on hold.
Yeah,
So-
and then they had the one returning character, that Asian actor. He suddenly became like this evil dude at the end. Everything was like a caricature. Everything was kind of cheesy and over the top, very very predictable. A lot of things were very predictable what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want to be the original Jurassic Park. I remember watching it in the theater. I mean, I was in 6th grade. I watched it, and I remember going, whoa. And other people in the theater jumped and got excited because it wasn't so predictable what was going to happen. They're like, "Wow, I didn't know that was. Oh, that was so cool at the end. I want that. Please give me that."
Yeah, I don't think after this, I don't think they're gonna make another park. I think they learned their lesson the 4th time. So maybe they'll have some. Maybe it'll be something where like, okay, we have to go back to the park and try to get a hold of these dinosaurs, get control of them. Something like that, maybe.
That would be that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Or they're explorers or archaeologists or some scientists. Well, let's monitor them now in their natural lifestyle since the park's not really running.
Yeah.
And then they get cut off from their plane, or who knows what happens. Or there's a bad guy in the background who's like, oh, actually, I'm here to get DNA.
Yeah.
Whatever ridiculous thing they're going to say.
And it wouldn't. You don't have to do that thing, which has been a trope in every single movie where a dinosaur gets loose. They're already all loose.
Yes.
So
thank you.
So it makes sense to do that, but I'm holding out hope. 3 years is a good time between this and that movie, so I think it's a good release date. I'm gonna hold out hope that they know what they're doing. But
the one problem is, they did so well in this movie. Okay, well, let's do.
Just do it again.
Let's do it again. Why not?
We'll get the same amount of money.
Yeah, do it. I really hope that they realize, okay, yes, people like these aspects, but even all the people that love the movie, like when I was watching reviews online, were like, inevitably you heard, but was it perfect? No. But every single person said it. But
almost every other single person said that it was also predictable too.
Yes.
That was another complaint of the movie.
So while they enjoyed it and thought it was good because it had the stuff they wanted, these other elements didn't work well.
Yeah.
So fix those elements. And then we'll give you another chance. Geeks of the Movies, we'll be back for another review. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Item number 6. X-Men director Bryan Singer was recently asked in an interview about a potential shared cinematic universe with the X-Men and Fantastic Four. To which he responded with the following: "Those ideas are in play. That would be a natural matchup because they're both ensemble films and there's a natural mechanism by which to do it. It deals with time. That's all I'm going to say." Jacob,
it's
interpret.
It's going to happen. We talked about this a little bit last week. We talked about whether we want to see cinematic universe between these two movie franchises. I think it's definitely going to happen. Just the fact that he knows that he's saying this at all.
Right. Because they'll say no comment.
Yeah.
It's worth thinking about the stuff. He'll say this is too specific.
Yeah.
It deals with time.
Yeah.
That's already giving things away. That's something they got this plan going on.
I also think that he's addressing this says that they're confident in the first Fantastic Four movie. Because why would he even address this if if they didn't want to cross these universes.
You're right, because he could wait 3 weeks or something,
Yeah.
and maybe. But you're right. So he has confidence in it. All right, that's good. I don't have so much confidence in the Fantastic Four film. None of the trailers have made me particularly excited. They haven't turned me off either, per se, but a trailer is supposed to get you excited, it's supposed to get you pumped up, like, yeah, let's watch this is awesome. And instead I'm like...
Yeah, they didn't really show a lot of action in any of the trailers.
That also has to be a concern, because some people were talking about, like, well, how are they going to make Mr. Fantastic not look ridiculous?
Yeah.
Because he did look kind of ridiculous in the first film at times, and it did fit the tone of those films, which were not very good films, but it seems like there's a more serious tone,
Yeah.
more realistic tone, which matches the X-Men, the Fox X-Men universe is that tone.
Yeah.
But the Fantastic Four are kind of silly and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, why are you're more excited about this than me, Jake? Why are you more excited?
I think it's because I hated the other Fantastic Four movies so much. This is another chance for them, and it looks like what they're doing is what they should be doing, going in that more serious tone. I like the big scale they set up with the going into the other universe with the other planet and all that kind of stuff. I like sci-fi exploration films, that kind of stuff.
You think that's actually going to be play a big role, exploration?
Maybe not exploration so much, but that's how they're going to get their powers. They're going to come back to Earth, and then we see them later on when they have their suits and everything. They're back at that place. So I think that whole aspect of I forget what it's called, that universe, but I think that's going to play a big role.
The multiverse?
Yeah, and it's going to have them. I think that's going to be the key to them connecting with these other franchises.
Wait, so are you saying that they're not going to be in like a shared universe proper, but they're going to have this alternative reality thing they might meet?
I think that's a possibility, and that's why I addressed it. I think that's a possibility that it's either that or they're already connected.
Or they're actually living in the same Earth?
Yeah.
What would you prefer?
I think I would prefer them actually living on the same Earth, but that brings into play the whole thing with time travel, with them going into that big portal thing that opens up. That could be their key to time travel and meeting up with the first class X-Men people. So it's not really that big of a deal, but they opens up with Days of Future Past, they set up so much possibility that they could do with this kind of stuff, because at the end...
Well, with time travel, I mean, it's a little cliche, but it allows you to do pretty much anything. It's a reset button, it's an alternate universe, it's like, hey, I want to see these two guys fighting.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy mechanism to achieve some creative goal.
Yeah, and...
But it can be lazy, too. It can also be like just a lazy thing. It's like, yeah, let's throw it in there.
Yeah.
And no one buys it.
And at the end of Days of Future Past, Press Records was like, I have a lot to tell you. Maybe one of those things is we met up with the Fantastic Four once. I don't know.
I got this guy, he stretches, and this rock monster.
Yeah, they're like us, but they got their powers a completely different way. So.
All right, let's move on now. Item number 7 on our list. We got some rumors and speculation around the web. Robin, will he be played by Eli Snyder? Is Robin going to be in the new Batman Superman film? Jared Leto's Joker, is he killing Robin in a flashback scene? I don't know. Jacob, what do you think about these rumors and speculations that are floating around the interwebs?
Well, I think the one with Robin being played by Zack Snyder's son in a flashback scene, I think that could be true. I think we might see a Robin flashback scene with maybe him being killed by the Joker, something like that. But I don't really think that's what we're going to get. I think we're going to get Robin in another film. Why would he cast his son as Robin, who's not really a big-name actor or even just an actor at all, to play Robin? Because I think they would want to get someone that people know to play this iconic character.
Jake, I can tell you why. It's his son.
Yeah, okay.
In Hollywood, if you actually look at the people in Hollywood, the majority of them have family connections.
Yeah.
All the directors, all the actors, it's stunning when you find out the connections these people had to get into Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's from family members, from uncles, and blah, blah. So,
Yeah.
to me, this makes perfect sense.
But, well...
And the guy has acted before. It's not like he's just some dude. He's played some small roles.
Yeah, well, I think the studio would be a little more cautious about this, to have him play Robin in this and then going on in other films. Like that's what I'm saying for a long.
Yeah, this would be dependent on Bryan Singer's clout. But he's done 3 successful X-Men movies. He might have enough clout now to be like, bring me my son, and what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You don't get me otherwise.
Yeah, I think that whole thing could be true, but I don't really buy it that much. I think it's gonna focus on Batman and Superman.
Okay, well let's talk about the characters of Robin in this new DC cinematic universe. Robin was never in the Nolan films. The character of Robin is really problematic when you put it on screen, because it's like in the comic books. I read a comic book, Dark Knight Returns. They have Robin, and it's just so bizarre that he's bringing along a child, a 13-year-old kid with him, and there's guys with guns and they're shooting. It's crazy. It's just insane. It's like this would never work. Now, in the more serious DC cinematic universe, you can age him up a little bit. I mean, if it was Bryan Singer's son, he's in his early 20s or something.
Zack Snyder's son.
That my mistake. Yeah. Zack Snyder's son. So, what do you think about Robin? And we saw his costume. It's not the cheesy red outfit. What do you think about Robin in the DC universe?
Yeah, I think he's definitely older. You look at that costume; it's not a costume that a kid wears.
Right. No.
It's an adult, or at least a teenager that was in that costume. I don't really think it was black either. It might have been burned, because in the origin of the Red Hood, which was the Robin that died, he was beaten to death by the Joker, and then the building he was in got blown up.
Okay.
So maybe it's not a black costume, but that would make sense, because if you're gonna have a bright red costume, it's not good for stealth, really. No. So it would make sense that it is naturally black, and
it would fit the aesthetic tone, because like even with Superman, his costume is darker tones. It's more muted than the bright tones, and Superman doesn't really need to worry about stealth. And he doesn't care about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think.
But do you want to see Robin?
I do.
As a fan, do you want to see Robin?
I do want to see Robin in the cinematic universe. Maybe not in this film, but maybe in the first Batman film, we see these flashbacks. In the first solo film, we see how Jason Todd, if that's the Robin they're going with, died. All that kind of stuff. We get Jared Leto in there as the Joker for that flashback scene when he kills them. That kind of stuff. I think that would be really cool. And I would maybe not see like a Robin in the present, because I don't really want to see that team aspect with Batman and a Robin in a Batman solo film. I want to focus on Batman himself.
Okay. Even if it's, and we're already accepting the fact that it would be a more serious Robin, right? You still wouldn't want that.
I just want to see little snippets of Robin. That's where he's good. When we get some good pieces of him, he's not good as like a solo character. I don't think in the comics he is, but I don't think in the films he would be good as a solo.
So Joker, is he in Batman v Superman?
I don't think so. We get definitely some references to him. We see the spray paint on the Robin.
Because I was thinking, when Ben Affleck went to shoot scenes at the Suicide Squad set, well, okay, he can shoot scenes with Joker too, and that could be in the Batman v Superman movie.
It's all definitely a possibility, and it also makes sense that it's a rumor, because they're keeping this under wraps if it is true, but I don't really think it's what's going to happen. I don't think it's what we're going to see. But you want to hear a really crazy rumor?
Give me the rumor, Jacob.
So this is the rumor. That Robin we see that in that costume, that's actually the guy that was the Joker that Jared Leto is playing. The Joker in this universe is Robin.
Whoa.
So this is the rumor. There was the original Joker who killed Robin, and then Batman killed that Joker, and then that Robin didn't actually die, and then he became the Joker himself.
Whoa, this is all upside down and backwards. You got me now. Okay, we're gonna wait on for more news about that. Do you think there's any chance though that?
Zero chance.
Zero chance.
That's some just crazy fan speculation, because the Joker looks younger than the Joker that we know of. But he's actually a year older than Ben Affleck. Jared Leto is actually the same age as Ben Affleck.
He looks younger though, definitely.
He definitely does look younger.
Okay, well, we're done with the news items for today, folks. We've now reached that part of the show that we call Geek Talk. This is the segment where we take anything from the geek side of movies or TV and share with you our thoughts on it. This week we're talking about the amazing, the awesome, the spectacular Firefly. I love Firefly. Fox, I hate you. I hate you for airing a show that was in widescreen, in full screen. I hate you for mixing up the episodes. I hate you so much. I just want to smash you. Chop, karate chop. Tell me why Firefly is so totally mega.
It's just like a great sci-fi series. I'm not a huge fan of westerns, but anything where it's like westerns with a twist on it, I'm in. And this is the space western.
Right.
It's so awesome.
That's a good name for it, the space western, because it's combining the space opera and the western. Yeah. And me, I like westerns. There's a lot of westerns I'm really into. One of my favorite TV shows, Deadwood, is a western. Unforgiven, Seraphim Falls. There's a lot of westerns I like. So this marriage of the two is really. When I first heard about it, I'm like, this can't work. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it really is a western. I mean, they go on to planets they have horses. Yeah. I mean, gun shooting. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's so awesome to see all this futuristic stuff mixed with this old stuff. Like with they have like barns and like in horse ranches.
And they have a really good explanation for it. Because these are the outer planets. They've been terraformed. They're kind of deserty. It's like the Midwest, the southern Midwest. It makes sense. These people are poor. A lot of times you have to use the environment to build and stuff. So they don't have as much technology. It's really well done.
Yeah.
Josh Whedon was the man behind it, so we get a lot of his classic humor, kind of humor you see in the Avengers. A thing I like about Firefly was the cast.
Yeah.
Every character, pretty much, except maybe Jamie, I really, really like.
Yeah.
I really like. I'm like this. Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, even the ones in the beginning where I'm like, I'm not sure about these people. Oh, they're awesome too.
Yeah, they all have their own distinct personality.
Very distinct.
Yeah.
There's no duplication like in Shield where they got like people that they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
They're all very. It's like okay, that guy, that guy, that guy.
Yeah, and this is Joss Whedon at his best.
Yes, I agree.
I don't know why Fox had to cancel the series after one season. It could have lasted at least 5 more seasons. It was so great. I wanted 5 more seasons.
It was a fantastically well-written show, but the problem is Fox just butchered it. They messed it all up. Yeah. They aired the show out of order.
Yeah, they did.
They changed it from like I said, from widescreen to full screen, so they cut off.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
And weren't there episodes from season 1 that they didn't air when it was on?
Yes, I believe there's at least 2. I don't remember how many, but yes.
And yeah, I have seen those episodes because they add them in on Netflix.
Right, you can watch it in the original intended order.
Yeah. So
you actually know what's going on. And another thing that this series has, which I know you probably like, is the heist element.
Yeah.
They got some real. I mean, I've never been into heist movies, but there's a couple episodes here where this kind of episode, they could have kept making these. I was like, we got a plan. And each person has a role. It's like, I'll do this, you do that. They could have kept going with this concept, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
Tell me about that aspect of the show.
Yeah, the heist aspect was really interesting. Just them as a gang of people taking on these jobs, which are odd jobs, and they're going in, doing all this awesome stuff. And I loved. You said you didn't like Jamie.
He was the character that was mixed on.
Yeah, me too. But he was the guy that was like kind of a little bit of a driving force with these kind of jobs that they did. Because he was like the guy didn't really care about what happened to other people. He was just in it for himself. Yeah. And that was a really interesting aspect of him as a character.
I gotta say about Jamie, who was. The reason why I liked him the least because he's the one that kind of tried screwing over the other crew members.
Like every single episode.
Right. But, and I really wish they continued on. Josh Whedon actually released comic books that continue the series on.
I want to read those comics.
Right. And there was an arc. Like, he had an arc. You could see he was changing over time. Like, all the characters, you could see them developing. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. We didn't see the complete development. River. I loved her character.
Yeah,
she was awesome.
She was
and I wanted to see more of her. Now, we did get a little bit of a Band-Aid to this because this series ended abruptly, and you probably thought, oh, well, that sucks. I'm never going to get the ending of this story. But then he released Firefly. Somehow Josh Whedon managed to convince the studio to give him $30 million to make Serenity. It made no sense. I don't know how he managed to do that.
Yeah, there was a huge cult following, and everyone was like, "We want more of this," but it's not enough for them to make another movie.
No.
But then he was like, "Let's just do one more movie. Just give the fans what they want. Just one more conclusion."
Right, and it tied up some loose ends. It did have some other concepts that were laid in case they could do more movies, but it didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
The fact that it was made is awesome enough. One thing about the movie, though, that's interesting is I would say the show is more Western than space opera, but the movie is more space opera than Western.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Right, they had the epic fight, all the ships fighting. I mean, Geeks at the Movies viewers, if you're not watching this show already, if you've not seen Firefly already, then you need to go and watch it.
Yeah, you definitely need to go watch that movie. Go watch that show. It's definitely what you need. It's definitely a good thing for sci-fi fans, all that kind of stuff. So go watch it, especially if you want to see Joss Whedon's earlier.
If you want to see good characters that are likable, on an exciting adventure, there's this vague background enemy that they never really could explore with the Alliance.
Yeah, the people with the blue gloves.
Yeah, 2x2 hands of blue, and but these are all minor elements they didn't really get to explore that sounded cool. But this just watching their adventures on the ship, their interactions, it's fun, it's excellent. And then you can check out the movie Serenity, so it's not like a complete cliffhanger. It's not like, oh, this is so good, but now it just abruptly ends. No, there is some conclusion to it.
Yeah.
So watch Firefly and then watch Serenity. Anyways, it is now time for the final part of our show. Old School, the segment where we pick a movie that is at least 10 years old and we discuss it. This week we're talking about Batman Begins. This movie stars Christian Bale, Liam Neeson, Gary Oldman, and was directed by Christopher Nolan. So this is the first in the dark, the realistic Batman. I love this trilogy. This is the Batman I always wanted. When I was a little kid watching the Batman animated cartoon and thinking about Batman, I'm like, I want a realistic Batman. I want a Batman that wears body armor and is rich and it makes sense and doesn't have Superman in it and doesn't have this. And then Christopher Nolan, thank you very much. You gave that to me.
Yes.
What did you think about this movie?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. This is the first really gritty and dark Batman movie. It's what all the Batman fans really wanted from a Batman movie. And my favorite part of this movie was actually probably Scarecrow as the villain. A really kind of left field choice for the first movie because you think he went with Joker, but he didn't. He saved the Joker, which I liked how he did that. Yeah, and it really increased this really dark and horror aspect of the film, with the whole fear gas and everything like that. And I actually cosplayed as Scarecrow the first time I went to Kineticon here. Yeah, so it was pretty. I don't really like cosplaying, but I like that character. So he was one of the best parts of the film. And then Liam Neeson, the other villain, as Ra's al Ghul, was another great aspect of the film.
And he played the wise master role in the beginning, which he's played in a number of films, that kind of wise person. And then you get the twist at the end, because there's always that dude, actually I can't think of the actor's name, that Japanese guy, that you thought was Ra's al Ghul, but it wasn't. What would you think of the twist when we find out about who Liam Neeson's true character is?
I thought that was an interesting twist, but I wasn't as into the whole Batman mythology when I first saw this movie back in 2005. It wasn't this big reveal. I was just oh, he's that guy. So it wasn't this big reveal for me, but it was cool to see Liam Neeson take on a villain role in a movie.
What did you think of the changes they made? Well, not so much change. What did you think of the other characters? What do you think of Alfred? What did you think of Morgan Freeman's character?
Yeah, those were all great side characters. They filled their roles great. I thought Morgan Freeman in this movie was just a great addition, because he's a great addition to pretty much every movie. So that, and then who's the actor they got to play Alfred in this movie?
Oh, Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, he was great.
I really liked that Alfred. I thought that was an excellent Alfred. What do you think of the voice? this has been always talked about, and now it's parody where he does the kind of gruffy, I'm Batman. I mean, I can't even do it. It's weird how it feels like you could hurt your voice the way he does it.
Yeah, I think that was just Christopher Nolan being like, okay, we gotta think of a way so like people don't think like that's Bruce Wayne talking to me. We gotta think of a way to do that. So just speak like you're doing a death metal growl. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this is. Some say it was also kind of tradition because if you look at the previous Batman movies, except for the George Clooney Batman, they did the lower voice thing, but he kind of took it to the next level.
Yeah, I think that it was just another way to also be like, this guy's going to instill fear in your heart. Like,
the gruff voice.
Yeah,
I'm Batman.
Like, I'm like. This isn't like a normal human being talking to you.
No, it's not a normal human being.
He's a guy wearing a bat costume. Right. And I love how they address that in the movie itself. Bruce Wayne's talking about Batman with people, and he's like, well, he's a guy wearing a bat costume. Obviously, it has some psychological issues.
Yeah. Christopher Bale was awesome as Bruce Wayne, right? He nailed the rich billionaire, the playboy. He was so ridiculous at times. When he had like the Russian ballerina troupe. I'm not sure it was in that movie, but I mean, over the whole trilogy, he played a great Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
What did you think of them trying to make it realistic? Did they succeed? Did you buy that this could be plausible, like at all?
Yeah, I definitely did to an extent because he's wearing armor.
Right.
Batman's he's wearing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can get.
And it makes sense where you get the armor front. It's like he just was like, oh well, we have military like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
We have a military branch of Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah.
That's how he got all his stuff, and he's a rich billionaire.
Yeah, and every single villain that they chose was also grounded in reality. Scarecrow, he's a scientist, makes this fear gas stuff. And then you got Joker, who's just a crazy psychopath.
Right.
And then you got Bane, who's not like the comic book Bane that has the venom pumping into his veins. He's just a really beefed up guy.
Wait, were you saying just having those big cords of venom, that's not realistic? You can never thought just to tear them out?
Yeah.
I was really glad they got rid of those.
Yeah.
So the whole, now let's just talk we have a few more minutes. The trilogy as a whole, did you think it worked as a whole arc?
I thought that it definitely fell apart in the third movie. I didn't think the third movie was bad, but it was the weakest part of the whole trilogy.
I agree, it was the weakest part.
But I did think it was a good conclusion. The whole thing, Batman flying off into the distance to drop the bomb in the ocean, all that kind of stuff. But the movie as a whole, the middle part, it wasn't great. But I did like that movie because it wasn't as grounded in reality as the other two were.
Yes, it was like if you're following the movie, like you don't realize like that Bane's people they like control Gotham for a while.
Yeah.
Like so some of the time it's kind of zoomed, for the audience goer. It's like, oh, this all happens in a few minutes. But they make mentions of like, well, this has been happening for months. It's like, where's the U.S. military? Where is everybody else? What is going on?
And then you see Scarecrow as like the judge in that one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in all three movies.
Yeah.
That was interesting how they kept bringing him back. You assumed he was just going to not come back, but I liked seeing him in all three movies.
Yeah, it was a good tie-in.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen Batman Begins,
that's what we're talking about.
Watch it, and then watch the one with the Joker, and then watch the one afterward. But sadly, folks, we are reaching the end of Geeks at the Movies for today. Jacob, tell the audience what they should probably do if they like the show.
If you like our show, you should definitely like, comment, subscribe, share, tell people about us, and give us some feedback on our videos too. We want to know how to improve ourselves. Yeah, we can't watch over every single aspect. There's so many things going on and moving parts. You don't even realize you're making a mistake until 3 episodes later. You go, wait a second, that shouldn't have been done that way. So your feedback is great, and like Jacob said, the likes, we are like and subscribe vampires. We feast upon them. It sustains us. It gives us that sick rush we need to get through the day. So please, give us our sick rush. Like and subscribe. Anything else for today, Jacob? That's it. Okay, folks. My name is Shane Goodrich. Jacob Desitels. And this has been Geeks at the Movies.
So I released the rest of them. But one of them didn't have the move that I needed to have, so I gotta read more. I thought I was done, and I'm not done. It's so upsetting.
Wait, where are you breeding the Pokemon?
In the game.
What game?
Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Check it out. Go to your local GameStop today.
The Joe I just gave you the Red Nation. Do what he says. Do you play the Pokemon, the Jacob?
No, he sucks.
No, he's yeah. What other thrilling and exciting things have you